Welcome to Tackle Talk Live, a show dedicated to making you a better angler. Your host, V&M General Manager Kevin Jean and Daiwa Ranger Pro Staffer Steve Graff will keep you up to date on what's happening on the best lakes in the Ark-La-Tex region, with a primary focus on Sam Rayburn and Toledo Bend, two guys who have fished at a high level with Pro-Am experience with ABA, BFLs, Toyota Series, and BASS Opens. Anglers with a wealth of knowledge and willing to share. So pull up a chair, kick back, and see why so many anglers watch Tackle Talk Live. Here are your hosts, Kevin Jean and Steve Graff.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Tackle Talk Live, right here on the shores of Sibley Lake in Natchitoches, Louisiana. And sitting to my left is the one and only V&M General Manager Kevin Jean. Kevin, how you doing, bud?
Doing good. Doing good, Steve.
Summertime is here, but boy, I tell you what, we've had a little reprieve on the heat.
I tell you what, this weekend was nice as far as yesterday and today and Sunday. It's been nice weather. We're going to get a little rain. Probably starting up here after lunch a little bit. I know a lot of you is already getting it. But, you know, it's nice cool down for the 9-degree weather we had, that's for sure.
Exactly. And running this show and producing this program is former Northwestern State graduate James Stanfield, now a full-time employee. So congratulations, James. He's got a job now, a real job. We'll visit today. On today's show, we're going to visit with the winner of the Sealy Big Bass Splash on Toledo Bend, and the only guy that weighed in a 10-pounder.
Yeah, I'm shocked by that. And, you know, had two 9-pounders weighed. Second and third place was 9s. Fourth and fifth was 8s. But now, saying all that, the conditions was brutal. The wind was blowing. It rained. The conditions was really, really brutal. So, still glad to see Toledo Bend kick out a 10-pounder. Steve, he caught it the first day, the first hour.
Yep. And we talked about that a couple times in the last couple of weeks, how that first day is, if you're going to win a Sealy, boy, that's the day to do it. Because after day one, I think all that pressure really gets, and the weekend gets there by Saturday.
The first day of the first hour, you weigh in at 10.4. Steve, that makes for a long 2.5 days to find out if you won that thing or not.
Jackson Cooper was the winner from Dry Prong, Louisiana. Congratulations, Jack. We'll have him on here in just a little bit. Also, we're going to kind of talk about something I've been keeping track of is the average bass weight per person per this event as compared to years gone by. We're going to see how Toledo Bend held up, and it's held up in the last 4 years, and it's good news. Also, we'll wrap up the Elite Series, Lee Livesey's victory, Longview native over there, former ULM football player. Lee Livesey won this event back-to-back once again, Kevin. And I mean, just blew him out of the water.
And, you know, and Steve, everybody's come back, well, he's a guide. Well, let me tell you something. There has been a lot of tournaments. Even the elites have had a lot of tournaments at their home lake.
Yeah.
That is hard to do. It is hard to win on your home lake at a tournament like that. Better yet, do it back-to-back years. And the way he's done it.
Especially on Fork, where there's 100 guides out there, all fishing the same areas and the same zones. Lee Livesey still made it happen, and that's what was impressive to me, was the fact that I've been to Fork, you've been to Fork. We know it doesn't fish big. It's not like Rayburn or Toledo Bend.
It's not.
And to catch them there, that kind of weight back-to-back years, that's crazy.
And Steve, he understands the fish. It's not spots. It's not. He has all these secret spots. He knows those fish. He knows how they transition.
Yep.
He knows where they're going. He knows when they're going to be there.
Yep.
He just understands those fish on that water and how they're moving at that time of the year. And, I mean, hats off to him. I mean, it was an awesome tournament. It's fun to watch.
Great job by Lee. But before we visit with the Sealy winner, Jackson Cooper, we're going to take a real quick break, recognize a few of our sponsors. Stay tuned. You're watching Tackle Talk Live.
Toledo Health is a full-service primary and acute care clinic. Nurse practitioners Jarrett Rule and Melissa Vines bring quality health care that's needed and convenient to the area. Whether it's a stomach virus or a hook in your hand, Toledo Healthcare will try and meet all your healthcare needs. Appointments available and walk-ins are always welcome. So the next time you're feeling down at Toledo Bend, stop by Toledo Healthcare, located on Highway 6, just south of Toledo Town, or you can call 318-508-5323. For all your boating needs, check out Shreveport's newest marine dealer, The Boat Shop. Raymond Kidd and his great staff will take care of all your engine repair needs or anything else that needs fixing. A certified Yamaha Mercury dealer, they carry two of the best fishing boats on the market from Sea Arc and Camus. The Boat Shop is never short on trade-ins, as they're always willing and able to make you the best deal possible. Looking for great boat accessories? They're a full support Garment and Minn Kota dealer. So the next time you're in the market for a new or used boat, or maybe you just need to service the boat you have, let the Boat Shop fix you up. To learn more, call 318-402-0399 or go to ShreveportBoatShop.com. The next time you're on I-49 just south of Natchitoches, Louisiana, stop by Cypress Knee Outdoors. A store within a store, Cypress Knee is located inside 3J's 4-Way. Whether you need gas, food, or drinks, they have it. While you're there, check out Cypress Knee Outdoors and pick up whatever hunting or fishing tackle you need. Top name brands like Strike King, Santones, Pro, or the #1 soft plastics made, V&M. On the hunting side, they carry guns from Mossberg, Winchester, and Remington. Plus, they've got a great supply of ammunition. Let John Abram and his staff show you everything Cypress Knee has to offer. Located just 1 mile east of 127 on I-49, or call 318-238-HUNT. You're watching Tackle Talk Live, a show dedicated to making you a better angler. Now back to the guys with all the inside scoop, Kevin Jean and Steve Graff.
Welcome back to Tackle Talk Live. Once again, we have these fine sponsors to thank: Toledo Health, The Boat Shop, 3J's 4-Way, home of Cypress Knee Outdoors. We appreciate you, John Abraham, and all the gang down there at Cypress Knee Outdoors. Exit 127 off I-49 if you're looking for some good bait and tackle and maybe a quick snack. Crispito. I love a Crispito. I have a weakness for those, man. But anyway, check it out. Great place to go for all your bait and tackle needs. On the Tackle Talk hotline, we have the privilege of visiting and the honor of having on Tackle Talk Live the Sealy Big Bass Splash winner, Jackson Cooper. Jackson, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great, Steve. Happy to join y'all on this talk.
Have you been to the bank yet?
Only a few times.
Jackson, man, a 1041 wins the Big Bass Splash. First of all, congratulations. First question is this your biggest fish? Is your biggest fish you ever caught? Is this your first 10?
This is my personal best.
Okay,
cool.
Is this your only 10 to ever have caught?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
okay.
I've never caught a double digit. Actually, my biggest is about a 7.5.
Oh wow!
Wow, well, you picked a good time.
I was going to say that was
a good time to catch one, man. Well, what about your key baits, Jackson? Obviously it was one bait, but what did you throw the same bait the whole time, or would you catch a fish on multiple baits?
I caught fish on multiple baits. This time of the year, you can kind of key in on what they're really looking for. I focus mainly on obviously a big worm. Also tossed around a jig and a spinner bait and a swim bait.
yeah.
What was the big worm? What color and what brand?
It was a V&M Wild Thing.
Whoa.
8.5.
And I want to say this. Kevin didn't tell him to say that either. This is I didn't know. Well, that's great promo, Kevin.
I didn't. And the last Big Bass Splash winner from Sam Rayburn was on a V&M chopstick.
Yeah.
And Jackson be the first one to tell you. When I called him this morning to kind of hear how it all went down, to make sure we didn't miss any details here in our story. And I said, well, do you mind saying what baits and everything? Yeah, he said actually, yeah, it was on a V&M Wild Thing. I'm like, that's awesome. I said, but I hope everybody believes that. It doesn't think I'm putting pressure on him to say that.
Yeah.
So, Jackson, you're my witness there.
No, and then, I do want to give out a little credits, I am familiar with the V&M Wild Things, but one of my buddy, Jonathan Zell, he really advocated, the action that they put out, and, so it really, pushed me to really use them more, so, and I've had a lot of success with them, so
Good. I'm glad to hear.
Really good bait.
Glad to hear. So Jackson, you caught this fish Friday morning, the start of the tournament. About what time did you catch her?
I caught her about, I'd say it was 6:30, 6:45.
First cast was at 6 o'clock?
I didn't even hardly look at I didn't even look at my time. I was kind of in the zone there. And didn't want to pick up and leave. I had boats around me, and I'm sure those folks were watching me. So.
Yeah.
Now, first cast was at 6 o'clock?
Correct.
So 45 minutes into the Big Bass Splash, you catch a 1041. And you said you didn't. So did you stay around and fish for a little while before you went and weighed her in?
I did. I guess at the time I knew she was big. But, being that the area I know that holds some big fish, I was like, well, maybe I can catch a bigger one. And I didn't want to pull off and, come back and it being occupied.
Yeah. Now, did you have scales in your boat? Did you know it was a 10-pounder before you weighed it in?
Honestly, guys, I've never seen a 10-pounder in real life. Yeah. So when immediately she came to the surface, and obviously she put on a show, and that was my initial thought.
Yeah.
And once I had her in the boat, I said, well, I'm gonna just not to excite myself, I'm gonna call her 8.5, and I'm gonna keep fishing.
Yeah. So, all right. So, take us through that morning. How deep did we start out? Deep? Is it shallow? Kind of take us through the morning.
Yeah. So the area I was fishing, historically, I like to night fish over there, and and it's during this time of the year when it's starting to heat up, right? So it's been pretty warm the past week or so, and so I started out mid-range. I started in 10 foot of water, bounced around 10 to 20 feet, and just stayed in that range. I was going to hit the bank because, the shad spawn still kind of happening, but I just wasn't seeing much activity. I did see a lot of boats on the bank, but I was thinking they were hiding from the high winds that we were experiencing that morning. So I stuck it out. I was about the only guy stuck out there fighting the wind, and just stayed in that range. And I was noticing that a lot of the brim and shad, they were still kind of out deep. I know the brim are just loaded, kind of offshore, which was surprising to me because I would think they would be on bed still.
Yeah.
But no, I saw that sign. I said, well, I'm going to stay in this range and, keep my bait wet.
Was you on the north end, south end, mid-lake? Give us general direction where you were fishing.
I focused mainly on mid-lake.
Did you?
South of Pendleton Bridge, mid-lake.
Yeah.
So, did you fish Saturday and Sunday?
I fished Saturday. So initially, I usually have a group of guys that come down here and fish with me on these events, and they didn't get to make it this year. So it's kind of I was.
Wait a minute. So was you in the boat by yourself when you caught this?
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Oh.
You had to get him in the boat by yourself.
Well, I did, and I did not have a net on the deck either.
Oh, man. Boy,
it was a rodeo.
It sounds like it.
Right, yep. So anyway, going into the tournament, I said, well, my family was going to come in. I said, well, I'm going to enjoy part of this weekend with the family, and just have, fun fish or do whatever. So I said, I'll just fish the first 2 days. Well, that happened. And on Friday, kind of motivated me a little more. And of course, we knew this bad weather was coming in on Sunday. And I said, well, I'll just pay that morning, just gauge weather conditions. And it didn't, when I woke up to go pay, it was very bad weather, and I said, well, I'm just going to let it go. And lo and behold, a few hours later, I'd say 7:30, it had passed, and it was beautiful, you know. And I was like, that's when I was like, oh no, I done messed up.
So when did the nerves set in of when am I going to win? I mean, you catch this thing first start of the tournament, you weigh her in the 8 to 9 o'clock hour on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you weigh it in, did it click that, hey, I could have just won this thing?
It did. It did. I knew I had a possibility. Like, as I said, I didn't know exactly what a 10-pound looks like because I saw the fish coming in before on these tournaments, you know, 7, 8, 9 pounders that just are massive, you know?
Yeah.
And so it was tough for me to gauge, and I had a scale. But, guys, as soon as I put my hands on her, I went to shaking, and I said, I got to get her in the box before I drop her. So I didn't even put a scale on her. I just sat her in the box and, you know, started fishing for a bigger one.
Now, did you catch any more fish that you possibly could have weighed in for an hourly check?
Yes, sir. Well, I didn't land them. I lost 2 good ones for sure. I actually juggled a 5 to 6 pounder in my hands over the boat because, again, I didn't have my net out, thinking, you know, superstitious, bad luck, net on the deck type thing. And so I juggled a big one and lost her over the boat, and I about went swimming with her. But I had a couple that came off that really I probably could have weighed in for the hour.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like you didn't win any money or anything, so you didn't leave there empty-handed, that's for sure. But, you know, Jackson, it amazed me when I'm looking at the list and the standings and how everything worked out. The number of 5 and 6 pounders that were weighed in was crazy to me. I mean, we're talking in an hour, 4 and 5, 6 pounders are better in the top 5, almost hour in, hour out. The lake seems like it's really fishing well right now.
It is, and I've watched your guys' show before, and you know, everybody seems to have a basically a positive vibe about this lake as it's coming back. You know, I've had a rough couple of years. I know. I like to fish this lake. I love fishing Toledo, and you know, it just hadn't been the same. You know, but this year, you know, it's still hard to fish, but you know, you can definitely tell it's kind of turning around. And yeah, you're right. Looking at the weights coming in, because you know, I'll tell you to your face that I wasn't washing them, but I had an idea what was coming in, and for those weights to even sit in a chair over there, you had to have a 4+ fish.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
So that's a great sign.
So what was Sunday like? Not fishing.
Yeah.
Did you sit at the pavilion there and watch them all weigh them in, or what did we do?
Did you go
Sunday?
eat breakfast? What'd you do?
Oh, no. So as I said, I got up early and it was bad weather, and so 7:30 I started milling around because we were staying right here at Cypress then, and you know, it turned out to be a beautiful day. That's when the nerves kind of got in. I was fine Friday and Saturday. I said, hey, if it was meant to be, it was that kind of vibe, you know. I said. But Sunday, when I noticed that weather was not going to help me as far as playing defense, I started getting the nerves. It was getting kind of nerve-wracking to me. And we did go down around lunchtime to get our kids some treats and
sign autographs.
Yeah, kind of spy on a few things and. And anyway, hearing those numbers come in, I knew they were a little lower Sunday, but I said they're still averaging 4 to 5 pounds, and they're having 8-pound kickers come in. I'm like, oh goodness. So we go back and rest for a minute, and I go down and sit the last hour. And of course, you know, I get down there and get set up, and you know, just watch the fish come in. Bob Seeley, he'll start picking on you a little bit and making you more nervous. So that's kind of how it went down. I sat there and watched the last hour come in.
Well, and too, I mean, it's one of those events that I know I've been there a couple of times covering them for a different show I was doing back in the day. And the 2 years I covered it back to back, the last hour was when a big fish came to the scales and won the tournament,
Yeah, I
which
remember
was
that one.
rare. And I was like, wow. And I knew the guy that was waiting, and he's one of the sticks over there at Toledo Bend out of Zawali. And he was in first place up to the last fish that was weighed in, and he lost. And I was like, man, how sad is that? How depressing would that be?
That's tough.
But, of course, second place doesn't go away a loser. You still have a pretty good package, but it ain't nothing like that first place prize.
Right, and that was kind of the mindset I had. I said, I've been fishing this tournament for many years now, and I haven't been successful in it. And I said, I'm blessed. A lot to be grateful for. I caught a double digit. I mean, that's once in a lifetime thing.
Yep.
And I said, hey, if I placed in my hour, I actually, was able to place. And I said, if I get pushed out, I said, I think I'll be okay with it. But, of course, being human, you do want to win the whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no doubt.
Well, now you're shooting for the guy we had on a couple of weeks ago or a month or so ago from Rayburn that has won it twice now,
Yeah,
Jackson. So
yeah.
now that's what you're shooting for.
Yeah.
That's right. You always got to have a goal. You have to have something to look forward to.
Yeah. Well, Jackson, we appreciate you, man. Thank you. Congratulations, man. What a great victory. And if you need something to do with that money, Tackle Talk Live, we take donations. So we'd love to have a little help here. But, hey, we understand if you can't make
You
that
need a
happen.
tax write-off. We
Yeah,
can help you.
if you need tax write-off, we're here. So,
I'll definitely consider you guys. And, hey, I thank y'all for reaching out and letting me join the show.
hey, enjoy your fame for as long as it lasts, dude. Congratulations.
Thanks, Jackson.
Yep. Yes, sir. Thank y'all.
Jackson Cooper, the latest winner off the Bob Seeley Big Bass Tour and Toledo Bend. And you have one more chance, I believe, no, two more with the Seeley events. One's at Lake Fork in September, and then October, I believe, is the shootout, fall shootout on Rayburn. And it's a 2-day event. But anyway, if you're looking for something to fish, you still have two more Seeleys left this year.
Steve, I don't know if I could have not fished Sunday. Mainly because I wouldn't know what to have done. Just sit there and twiddle my thumbs.
Yeah, I'd have wanted to do something to pass the time, just to get through the day. But yeah, to sit around waiting, oh man. And that last hour is probably the worst ever.
Yeah.
But anyway, okay, when we return, we're going to wrap up the Elite Series event from Lake Fork, where Lee Livesay won this event. When we return with more Tackle Talk Live.
Are you looking for the finest custom-built rods ever made? Then look no further than Pride Rods. Fishing rods built to last and made in Montgomery, Texas. Constructed by Mr. Billy Kistler with the finest Gary Loomis North Fork composite blanks available. They offer a complete line of both spinning and casting rods for both fresh and salt water. Pride Rods do more than pass the eye test. They excel in performance as well. Ask your local tackle dealer if they carry Pride Rods and pick one up and try it for yourself. You'll see why so many anglers are using Pride Rods. To learn more, go to priderods.com or call 832-418-6040. The next time you're headed for Toledo Bend or Sam Rayburn, stop by Keith's Toledo Bend Tackle. They have an awesome supply of everything you'll need to catch the big ones. Whether your trip calls for bass fishing, white perch tackle, catfish bait, or the ultimate fighting shiners, Keith's Tackle has you covered. Keith and former Elite Series pro Ben Matsubu also have the latest information on what, how, and where you need to be fishing on Sam Rayburn or the Bend. So for all your tackle needs, check out Keith's Toledo Bend Tackle, located just off Highway 21 on the Texas side of Toledo Bend, or call 409-625-0181. The Lakes Insurance Agency is an independent insurance agency that has been taking care of Texans' insurance needs for over 25 years, offering auto, homeowners, boat, RV, life, health, and commercial insurance. Owner Clark Moore is a local guide and tournament angler who understands your insurance needs and wants to be your go-to guy for all your insurance needs. For a free quote, give him a call and see why so many Texans trust the Lake Insurance Agency. Located at 805 Southeast Stalling Suite 3, Nacogdoches, Texas, or call 936-205-4467. You're watching Tackle Talk Live, a show dedicated to making you a better angler. Now back to the guys with all the inside scoop, Kevin Jean and Steve Graff.
You're watching Tackle Talk Live. Thank you for tuning us in today. This segment presented by Pride Rides, Keith's Toledo Bend Tackle, and the Lakes Insurance of Nacogdoches, Texas. 2 locations, one in Broadus and one in Nacogdoches. Real quick, we'll wrap up. Kevin, let's wrap up the Sealy. Yeah, give us a top 5.
All right, let me get back here. I was pulling, make sure I had the Texas.
While he's
team
looking
chart.
that up, there was a kids division, and I'll kind of go over it real quick.
Hey, I had family that won in the kids division.
Oh, did you really?
Kinsley Peak, 6-pounder on the kids side.
That's what I was going to bring up. Kinsley Peak had a 6.14 pounder on Friday to win the the kids division of the bass tournament, and nothing was even close to that on Saturday and Sunday.
She kicked her dad's butt. She kicked her brother's butt.
Really?
Just outfished everybody.
Congratulations, Kinsley.
But going through the final results here, first place Jackson Cooper with a 10:41. Second place Blake Boyer from Singer, Louisiana with a 9:69. Third place Mark Vavick from Arkansas at a 9:44. Fourth place Danny Proctor from New Braunfels, Texas with an 8:92. And fifth place was Rand Castle from Zawali with an 8:62. So that's your top 5 over final results from the Big Bass Splash.
Yeah, and congratulations to all you guys. Real quick, I do want to cover something that I talked about in the beginning of the program. I've been keeping track and record of each event for the Sealy for the last 4 years from 2019 till now. And Toledo Bend in 2019, the average fish weighed in was 4.92 pounds. The numbers were really high. Toledo was extremely hot. It was fishing extremely well. In 2020, it dropped almost a whole pound, down to 4.06. Then in 2021, it started to come back up at 4.14. And this year, the average fish weighed in 4.28 pounds. So
Was the average fish weighed in?
average fish weighed
Wow.
in. Yep. So the Toledo Bend starting to come back again.
In horrible conditions. It's not like.
Yeah, no.
It was horrible conditions out there.
No, you're exactly right. So they still caught them. And again, when you look at the hourly results of the Sealy, it just amazed me how many 6-pounders, really over any fish over 5. It was crazy. I mean, I was like, that's a lot of 5 and 6 pound fish. Yeah. That tells me the quality of the lake right there.
No, it does. It does. I didn't realize it was that high. That's impressive.
Moving on. Let's see here. Results from Lake Fork, Texas. I have that right here in front of me. Of course, Lee Livesey, he won it with 113 pounds, 11 ounces. Took 4 people. 4 people made the Century Club for one event. That's how well Fork is fishing. Now, I will say this. I did watch Bassmaster Live, and Kevin, they alluded to the guys, the pros that were talking on Sunday, talked about how the weights that are being weighed in are extremely high, but the number of fish caught was very low.
It's not, and I've had several buddies call me, hey, when we going to Fort? Guys, it's not that easy over there. I'll be first to tell you. I mean, you look at Lee Livesey on Saturday. I know I watched Saturday morning. He didn't catch a fish till like 10 o'clock.
Exactly.
Now, don't get me wrong. The size is there if you can catch them. And you can look through those Elite Series guys. A lot of them didn't catch them.
Yeah, don't go over there looking to load the boat.
No, and don't think you're gonna catch all these 5 and 6 pounders.
No, either. No,
It's not that easy. Yeah, you'll probably catch a few, but it's not. They made it look easy, especially the guys that had the cameras on. They were on some select schools, but think about this. That's 5 to 8 guys, 10 guys out of 100 almost on the Elite Series. The other 90 didn't catch them as well.
And I watched a lot of it on Bassmaster Live and on FS1. And the thing that I noticed the most, guys that got in an area and locked down and stayed there, and just some of them just waited them out. And I know Brandon Polinick, he was on the dam almost the entire event, all 3 days. Gerald Swindle was in the same area 90% of the time. Now, Lee Livesey, he might have moved around a little bit more.
Yeah, he did.
But those other 2 guys, the top 3 there, Brandon Polinick was second with 102.2 pounds. Gerald Swindle was third. You know, a lot of people pulling for Gerald.
Yeah.
You ready for him to win one?
Yeah.
The guy that had that success, 2-time Angler of the Year, and has never won a BASS event. I'm telling you, when he wins one, there'll be a party
Yeah.
like there ain't never been.
Yeah, you're right
And
about
you hope
that.
you're invited.
Yeah, definitely. But I think Fork kind of a lot of talk about OH Ivy. Now I've been there once. It's been a long time ago, but a lot of talk about Ivy, a lot of talk about Guntersville, and then the smallmouth lakes.
Right.
This is Fork kind of saying, hey, don't forget
Yeah,
about us
yeah, we're
over
still here.
Don't forget about Lake Fork as
Yeah.
far as a trophy destination lake. Is about as good as it gets. And if you are let me say this: if you're wanting to go to Lake Fork, you want to schedule a trip, holler at my guys over there at Lake Fork Resort. Book you a cab, Pope's Landing. Book you a cabin at Boats. They got a hotel at Lake Fork Resort. Give them a shot. Go into the tackle store at Lake Fork Resort. Tell Mike the guys at Tackle Talk Live sent you for sure.
And another thing you got to keep in mind too: the lake is 5 to 6 foot down right now. For some reason, they just haven't. Well, they've been working on the dam, so the gates have been open. I think now they're closed, and the lake's starting to fill back up. But that played a role in this event for these guys because there wasn't a lot of running around.
No, there
because it's a very stumpy lake. And when you said they didn't cut the timber out when they built that lake, and so it made navigation a little more difficult for these guys. But anyway, great event. If you don't watch Bassmaster Live, I highly encourage you because Mark Zona, Tommy Sanders, they do a great job of covering these events. Davey Height, they really do a top-notch job of covering these events live, and it's about 6 or 7 hours of live TV coverage. So
It's fun to watch.
it is fun to watch. Let's see, Triple T results. Kev, I think we got some.
Yeah, we got those. Good turnout over at Sam Rayburn. And for the winning stringer, a guy that we've heard a lot of from over there, Steve Hayden Heck.
Yep.
With partner Michael Contardi.
Yeah.
Had 5 fish for $26.62, won a total of $39,175. The team of Bubba Frazier and Tommy Hill was second place with 24 pounds even. Third place, another hot stick, Marshall Hughes and Cole Stewart. 23.85. I think they've placed in every tournament this year.
Yeah.
Fourth place, Larry Cotton, Chris DiBerdino had 23.50, and fifth place, Jason Bonds, Kevin Bonds had 22.44. Looking all the way down, it took right at 17.81. It looks to be to get the last check.
Yeah, and just in case you were wondering, that there's another team right below sixth place, Clayton Bullware, Albert Collins, a really good Rayburn team. They had 21.89. So Stephen Johnston, he fishes over a lot of guys over there. He finished 10th. Him and Chris Schneider, they had 20.76. Just looking down the list here of the top name, Todd Castledine he finished 19th with 17.61. Him and Brett Broussard. So and again, they did have a good turnout for this event. But something, Kevin, that we're going to talk about next week's show. There was only 161 people showed up for this Triple T, and they used to average 300 to 400 boats. We're going to talk about, we got some special guests lined up for next week's show. We're going to talk about why our participation numbers down in some of these circuits. We've got several reasons we're going to throw out there. If you haven't been to our poll question on our Facebook page, go to Tackle Talk Live Facebook page. You'll see the question on there. Feel free to give us your comments.
This one's going to be and we're not this show won't be live because we have to film it because of our special guests at some different times.
Right.
So it won't be live, but when you watch it on YouTube, make sure to comment. We want to hear your comments back on this.
Yeah.
So make sure you comment on our YouTube page, kind of your thoughts. This is a straight opinion-based deal. Me and Steve will give ours, and our guests will give theirs as well. But this is something's going on in East Texas. No tournaments are pulling what they used to pull. The numbers are down across the board. I don't care what tournament circuit it is. The numbers are down in East Texas, Louisiana, Toledo Bend. So we're going to kind of dive into that next week.
Really, the whole state. I mean,
Yeah.
not just East Texas, but the whole state. But we focus on our region right here. But I mean, whatever circuit, whether you're talking Bass Champs, Triple T, I mean, PTO. That's one I even forgot, Kevin, was the PTO circuit. That's a new team trail that cranked up this past year. That's the guys got to make decisions because there's an expensive entry fee in that event. But there's a lot of reasons. Some we hadn't even thought of. So I think you'll like next week's show. Make sure you tune in. James, I assume we'll release it at the same time we always release. So what? Probably around noon, 11:30.
Tuesday, 11:30.
Tuesday, 11:30. check us out, Tackle Talk Live, and I think you'll really enjoy that program. So, all right, upcoming events, Cal.
Let's see here. You got me on my soapbox. Let me pull it back out. June 4th and 5th, the Outlaw Team Championship over at Humphrey Pavilion. Be a 2-day tournament over there. Then June 4th, the ABA Open Series number 3. That's the South Texas division, correct?
Yeah, South Texas.
Then June 11th, the ABA Open Series number 4, South Texas division. June 12th, the Outlaw Outdoors Average Joe Tournament. Really cool tournament, really cool format. You can go over to the Outlaw Outdoors website or Outlaw Outdoors Facebook page, get the rules and regulations on the Average Joe Tournament. It's only, you have to be eligible to fish that tournament. Not everybody can fish it, so you can go check that out. Then you'll have the Solo 150 coming up, correct?
Solo 150, June 17th and 18th out of Castle Boykin. And then June 18th, Outlaw Outdoors Father's Day Tournament out of Humphrey Pavilion. Also, I added one. Excuse me, folks. I'm having trouble with my voice. June 9th through the 12th, Bass Champ Skeeter Owners Tournament, Lake Fork, Texas.
Yeah.
So make sure you check that out as well.
Good deal. I
All
think
right.
that wraps us up for today.
Again, don't be that guy. If you hadn't signed up for Bass Cash Bash, make sure you do so. Still plenty of time. It runs through July the 4th on all the lakes but Sam Rayburn. So Sam Rayburn's over, but the rest of them still have fish available. Caddo, Lake Fork, Toledo Bend, all still eligible till July the 4th. Don't be that guy. Make sure you register. Thank you for tuning us in. We appreciate each and every one of you. Check us out on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, or our podcast. If you'd like to become a member of our sponsorship team, please message us on our Facebook page. Kevin will get a packet out to you ASAP. For Kevin Jean, our producer James Stanfield, yours truly Steve Graff. Thanks for watching. We appreciate you. We'll see you next week with more Tackle Talk Live.